When I was a kid, I was given the full armor of God. Now, it was a toy, let me be clear. It was this plastic set of armor that basically had a helmet, a shield, a breastplate, a belt, the sword. It was a fun toy. I'm sure I probably smacked my sister with that sword more than a couple of times and probably got in trouble for it. I don't remember, but I know what I was like back then, so it was very probable. But anyways, the problem with that set of armor was when Paul was depicting the armor of God to the Ephesians here, what they were envisioning was Roman armor. What I was gifted is probably more in lines with what we think about when we hear about the full armor of God, which is a medieval knight type setup. Now, you wouldn't think that's a big deal, but it kind of is because it shapes our theology, whether we know it or not. Because medieval knight armor is meant to be used as an individual. We think of this heroic guy going off and fighting the dragon and slaying, and he gets all the glory for himself. Roman armor is not like that. Not only does it not even remotely look like medieval knight armor, how it works is entirely different. You see, when the Romans were given their armor, it was made to be used as an interlocking mechanism. It was an army using all of their tools together to make one massive weapon. So what would happen is the shield design was made in specific shapes so that when they put them in front of them, when they're standing in a line and then the other people behind would put their shields over the top, it would protect them from arrow volleys. And so they were basically impenetrable. That was one of the major ways to have great casualties in a field, is to hit them with the volley of arrows. But when the Romans came around, that didn't work anymore. They had ample protection from it because they used collectively together this armor to stop that from happening. And it worked in many other ways in the field of battle. But that's why the Romans were such a force to be reckoned with. That's why the Roman Empire was what it was. And so when Paul is talking to the Ephesians, this is what they're visualizing. And so what we miss sometimes, I think, is that when Paul is talking to the Ephesians about putting on the full armor of God, we think about that in our individual sense, which is important. But think about it in the collective sense. What if the church put on the full armor of God and used it in the way that they were talking about? All of a sudden, we would become this impenetrable force to be reckoned with within our communities around. Because we're working together as a single unit. You know, if we're operating with individual armor and we have all the people at church and some aren't wearing armor, all of a sudden it's, I hate to say it, but almost like a liability, because not only do we have to defend ourselves, we have to defend them as well because they don't have the armor on. So Paul is telling these people, everybody get your armor on, work together, and be a force to be reckoned with. I think that's an amazing analogy here. It's talking to the church here. He's like, all of us, get your armor on. Get your armor on so that we can be stronger for it. So if you have not yet put on the armor, don't just do it for yourself. Do it for the church. Because we need everybody to be fully suited up and ready to go. Guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Read Ephesians 6:10 through 20 and try maybe looking at it through that lens. We love you. We'll see you on the next video.